Hello, everyone. I'm Adam Bradford, General Manager for D&D Beyond, and thank you for joining me for this week's development update and community Q&A session. We are going to jump right in with a few exciting updates, talk about what's upcoming, and then get into our question time. We're going to do things just a little bit differently this week with the YouTube release of the dev update. So we've heard some feedback that many of you enjoy hearing about the news or any of the upcoming tidbits that I'm sharing at the beginning of these streams. And then, the questions obviously take on a pretty different slant most of the time. And so we're going to be trying to take that first part of the development update and edit that a little bit where it can be a little more polished and put together, and hopefully a little bit shorter for those of you who do not have an hour to spend with me to be able to consume some of that content. So we're going to try that out. We're going to see how that goes. As always, we would love to hear your feedback as that starts to come together. We're going to talk about the latest development updates. We've got a data update today that is looking at Encounter Builder monsters, which I find very fascinating, upcoming, and then into the question time. So latest updates, we have a changelog entry that went out earlier today with a couple of very exciting quality of life updates. And the first of those is the My Characters page has had a little bit of a facelift that is going to make it a little bit easier for you to find your characters. So if you go to your character page now, you're going to be able to see, first of all, before campaigns, if you were in a campaign, those campaigns were actually making the card blocks be different sizes than the other cards. Very frustrating when you were trying to visually just scan the area. We're now pulling in character backdrops. We're going to try to do some things with theme colors and frames at some point in the future, future iterations, but starting to pull in a little bit more of that customization here. And then also, very importantly, you can actually start filtering your characters by class, by, let's see, do I have any sorcerers? Oh, I do have a few sorcerers in there. Let's see, do I have bards? Of course I have bards. So yeah, you can start searching and filtering the list and making that reduce based on what you're putting into the search box there. And then you can sort by the default. So we left the default where it is. This is probably not the best default, but at the same time, we didn't want things to be jarring for users when they came back to this page for the first time. So it is the sort order that we've had all along with created by newest, but you can do this by name alphabetically, by level, or by when the character was last modified. And so if you do modified latest, that should bring up whatever character you're using or whatever characters you're using most frequently and recently. So that's going to happen here. And as all of those things are coming together, keep in mind that this sort order is going to be centered around your device and your username. So you will have to do this for each device, but it should, through probably cookies. I'm not the most technical person in the world, but it should be remembering what your preference was there. Over time, we may even introduce something at the account level where this could be set as a preference as well. So quick quality of life change that we got out that I think is actually going to make a very big impact on this very, very important page on D&D Beyond. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that. In addition to that, we now have the ability in compendium content pages. So I'm looking at the player's handbook at this point. I'm going to step into the step-by-step characters chapter, and you will see now that we have a little bit of navigation aid that has been off requested, and we're happy to do that as well. where you can navigate to the previous and next chapters quickly and easily here. And you can also get back to the table of contents very quickly and easily. And then additionally, as you start scrolling the page, you're going to notice that that is going to follow you in the left navigation sidebar here. And so same thing, you can go back to table of contents by clicking the book icon. But as you get in here and as you start scrolling, there is also down here in the bottom right of the screen, floating action button that is going to bring you back to the top of the current page. So small quality of life change here that is long overdue. Glad we have been able to do this. And I hope that this is going to make the experience of browsing your favorite content from all of these incredible books that have been released for 5th edition even easier. So those are the latest updates. Again, very excited about that. Let us know how you feel about that in the forums or on Discord. And we'll continue to tweak and improve and make these kind of updates as we go along. So data, Encounter Builder monster popularity. This is a fun one for me. So the Encounter Builder has been around since May, and we've got a lot of data now at this point in time. So the top 25 monsters that are used in the Encounter Builder are as follows. So you see goblins take the crown here. Goblins are very, very popular, as are bandits, zombies, skeletons, and kobolds, orcs, cultists. Another thing that this really, really highlights is that low-level play seems to be very, very popular compared to higher-level play, and that there is a greater distribution, at least on D&D Beyond, of Dungeon Masters building encounters with creatures that have a lower challenge range. So you can see that lizard folk, they are going to round out the top 25 here. But all of these monsters, I believe, let me just look at the list one more time here. I don't think we're going to have a single challenge over 5 for any of these monsters. In future installments, we could perhaps look at popularity based on the tiers of play. So if you have suggestions of how you would like to see some of this data, by all means, share that in the places where we gather feedback, and we'll see what we can do. But this was very interesting to me, again, demonstrating that low-level play is very popular out there, and even, you know, potentially for high-level play, the ability to thread some of these lower level obstacles or barely speed bumps or whatever they would be into those encounters is a popular choice with this monster selection. Upcoming Encounter Tracker Phase 1. This is something that we're definitely working on. Mobile app character sheet alpha. I got some notes that I didn't mention this last week. I mentioned it about 30 times, I think, during the questions section, but we put it back on the list. This is definitely the priority for us. We have had our team from Poland visiting us this week here in the US, and it has been incredible to see our mobile app development team's passion and desire to make something truly special here. And so we're really, really excited about what's going to be going on there. We'll have more to share on that before too much further down the road. The Italian Player's Handbook. This is something that we're targeting for Lucca Comics and Games convention here. I think it's the first week of November. As we have said before, we are trying to get our feet wet here. This is going to be compendium content only to start, and we're going to see what the response is to this, and that is going to inform our strategy going forward with foreign language translations. But we are happy to at least be trying to enter these waters and trying to get down the road on some type of foreign language translations. We'll see how this goes, and we'll do our best to get to other books and other translations. And then we are working quite a bit on Eberron Rising from the Last War and Rick and Morty's. All of that's coming together, and we are going to be prepared for the November releases of those products.